A $250 winner drawn on the third Wednesday of each month and a $500 winner drawn on January 2nd, 2024. All YMCA memberships are a 12-month commitment. The Y for youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome into the WTIM information station. My name is Tim Zalabak. Time now for the WTIM morning show. Thank you so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook TV right now. I got Sasha Young on the line. She is the superintendent of Central A&M School District. How are you today, Miss Young?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for making the time. I'm sure it's been a crazy couple of weeks for you, and you just started getting your feet wet. This is your first year as superintendent for Central A&M School District. Tell me how it's been.
It's going well so far. The first 60 days have just kind of flown by. We are in full swing here at Central A&M. Kids are in the buildings. Kids are outside of the buildings doing extracurriculars. Lots of fundraising going on in the district right now to, bulk up those student activity accounts and just lots of things. We're midweek 3 already, if you can believe that. So time is just flying by.
That absolutely seems that way. 3 weeks in already. I didn't even realize we're already that far in. So what did week 1 look like? I mean, I knew you had many things. I knew you gave a speech to your staff. How did that speech go?
It went well. My goal was to, as we talked before, just kind of motivate people and inspire them to start the new year out, understanding their why and knowing why we're here and why we're doing what we're doing and finding our purpose. And so I think that speech went well. And then I gave everyone the afternoon to work in their classrooms, which, everyone needed at that moment to get ready for the next day. So, yeah.
I'm sure that sounds awesome. Well, I'm really glad the speech went well for you. That's probably a daunting task there, addressing your brand new staff, because you're not quite sure how they're going to accept you just yet. Was that kind of your feelings there?
Well, my idea was that I was coming in and, as we spoke before, there wasn't really anything that I needed to change up. And so my goal was just kind of let them know that I am grateful to be here and that I appreciate that we are on this journey together. And I'm excited about, doing that with them. So my goal was just introduce myself and let everyone know that I'm here and I'm ready to do this work.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Now, I don't want you to speak for other superintendents, but do you think that your staff is refreshed hearing this, that other superintendents, they might be thinking, want to come in, make big changes? When they hear that, do you think that you are making some difference in the terms of superintendent, not wanting to make huge changes?
I think that's probably, true some places. It was never my goal to come in and just change things up. I think there are a lot of things that are going on here that are going on and they're fantastic. And so I want to honor and respect everything that's going well. I think, 3 weeks in, there have been a few things that I've tried to help others problem solve or, maybe some procedures that were kind of clunky that we are working through to try to make them more seamless and better. So the longer I'm here, the more I'm seeing a few things that we can just improve upon, but again, with respect and honor to how well everything is already going, right? So right. Nothing major, just small little, procedures or little things that I can bring a fresh set of eyes to and hopefully just give a different perspective.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and hearing that, if you're an educator, it's probably a big sign of relief, as you just want to focus on teaching your students. You're thinking about getting them, in the best education they have. If you're dealing with a superintendent that's changing many of the operations, it's going to make it harder to do those types of things. So I'm sure, the staff has been appreciative of these things. And, have they been leading their students with passion every day?
I believe so.
Awesome.
I've done a few campus visits to both our Assumption and our Mowequa buildings, and I'm seeing the passion. So I'm really excited. Yeah.
That is really awesome. You talked about like fantastic things you've seen while not wanting to change anything. You've seen some really cool things. You're like, I'm not going to touch that. This is perfect. Can you name off a few of these things? I mean, operationally speaking, maybe communication wise, what are some of those things that really stood out to you?
Sure. So, as I mentioned before, and I'm continuing to see, our district does a lot of really great things with celebrating students, celebrating them on social media, celebrating them through email with Parent Square, which is how we communicate to the parents. That's fantastic that, I was aware that we celebrated students at the highest level before I even came here. That was something that I had followed Mr. Brown for years on Facebook as he has been celebrating, the Central A&M students on their Facebook page. I think that another thing that goes really well here is the daily updates that our high school principal shares out with the entire staff and with parents about just daily events, reminders, things that are happening in the district. So communication is a wonderful thing here, and it's going really well. Lots of clear communication, as well as sharing that information and sharing those celebrations and upcoming things. And I know last week we shared that our students were getting ready to benchmark, which is kind of an assessment to see where they are and where we need to go from here. And so that was communicated out clearly to parents so they could prepare their students for, hey, today you're going to take an assessment. It's not worth stressing over. Just do your best. It's just trying to figure out where you are and where we need to go. And so I think communication is fantastic here as a district. I try to send out a Friday email myself. I don't always get one sent out, but I think that just updating people and staying on top of what's out there, as well as, maybe just saying, hey, happy Friday, enjoy your weekend, right? Just a simple thank you communication goes a long way as well.
Totally. And communication, I feel like, is something that's lost. You talked like a little bit about these news blasts being sent out about events and current stuff. That's really important. And you don't always hear that, especially with some bigger school districts out there. There's just too many things going on, I assume. But, I got to imagine that communication really lets students and parents know. It really keeps everyone in the loop. That's really valuable.
I think the home to school connection back and forth is valuable. I think it's important to communicate and be connected so that we all know that we're all in this together, right? We're going to lean on the parents as much as we want them to lean on us. And it's a village effort for sure.
I'm sure it's a relief to hear from students. I feel as if so many parents send their students to school and then that's it. They have no idea what they're doing there, and no communication between staff and the teacher, unless something bad happens, of course. Like some disciplinary issue. But you would like to be up to date on everything going on, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and and that's our goal, right? Is to just have that open line, and know that if they need us, we're here, and we know that we'll lean on them when we need them.
Sure. These benchmark tests are coming up, and I'm people have many different thoughts about these standardized tests, and but they're important to get a baseline of what's going on. You said that some students are kind of stressing out about this. I remember being in elementary school taking an ISAT test, and I could not care. Is that really a problem for students now? Are they kind of stressing about these tests at early ages?
Well, I think in regards to the benchmarking that I was talking about, that's just kind of something that we do towards the beginning of the year. It's standardized in the idea that everyone's kind of doing the same thing, but the goal is to just be able to see where the students are. And if they're kind of behind where we think they need to be, then we know as teachers we can meet them there. We can go and we can catch them up to where we think they need to be because these results have told us that, right? And so the benchmarking is mostly used to just drive our instruction, just so we know kind of the path that we're taking as teachers.
Sure.
It also might give us a clue, if a student needs an intervention or if they're significantly behind most of their other peers in that age group or in that cohort. And so that gives us an early insight into maybe some of those kids who are further behind than we want them to be. So the early benchmarking in the fall is just it's just a guide to help us create that educational path to get the kids where they need to be by Christmas and then again by spring.
Sure. No, I totally see. So it's totally not like the statewide standardized testing, but
No,
this is a very good way to, you're kind of cutting a corner here in terms of you don't need to fail a test to find out what you're doing bad on. You're catering to the student.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it just allows us to, like I said, create that path to help the student. And the state standardized test is a whole different ball game. Those typically happen mid to late spring, and those are one time a year, right? They just come, they come in and they go, where our benchmarking is kind of periodic. It just gives us a better picture sometimes of where our students are.
Right. And those happen throughout the year, so you can look for that improvement.
And we can compare and we can see, improvement or decline, or, growth is growth. So going the right direction is going the right direction. And those benchmark assessments along the way just help us drive our instruction and where we want to be in the end.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it seems like you guys are doing all good things over there at Central A&M School District. I got Sasha Young on the line right now. Miss Young, we're going to take a short little break. We'll be right back with them, though. You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show. My name's Tim Zalabak. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, and Landmark Taylorville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with the WTIM Morning Show.
Your information station, WTIM.
AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. And it's also a vital service that provides important emergency information when your community needs it most. Tell Congress you need AM radio to stay in your car. Because when cell phones and the internet are down, this free emergency service is critical. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress we need AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
If you're like most people, finding extra money for your savings just doesn't happen. Hi, this is Nicole Maloli at People's Bank and Trust, and we have the solution you've been looking for. Sign up for our Save by Spending Roundup program, and we'll round up your purchases to the next dollar, then transfer that change to your savings account. It's as easy as shop, enjoy, and save. Start saving for the things you really want with our Save by Spending Roundup program. Call 888-PBT-1954 and let us put you and your savings first. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bet you didn't know all the services provided by the Christian County Health Department.
Free HIV at-home test kits. Come in, grab one, and find out your status without anyone knowing. If you do test positive, the health department can help you reach out to those who can provide help.
The health department also offers free mail protection. Grab a white bag just inside the door.
These are 2 ways that the health department promotes men's health year-round.
Just a few of the many services provided by your Christian County Health Department. 902 West Springfield Road in Taylorville. Serving our community by preventing the spread of disease, as well as protecting, assuring, and improving the public's health.
Do you know what to do when a car is pulled over on the side of the road?
Get over!
First, reduce your speed. Second, change lanes if possible. Third, proceed with caution. These 3 simple steps can be the difference between life and death.
What if it's you that's on the side of the road? Do you want everybody to move over for you?
Do the right thing. Slow down, move over, and drive like your life and their life depends on it.
Tune in to this RFD Radio Network affiliate Saturday mornings from 9:06 until 9:30 when we present the RFD Trading Post to advertise your farm-related items to buy, sell, trade, or give away. Call the toll-free number we give during the show to get your farm-related items advertised across the state and listed on rfdtradingpost.com. And find instructions on getting your farm-related items read on the show in our mailbag segment for 30 days for just $20. The RFD Trading Post, Saturday mornings from 9:06 till 9:30 on this RFD Radio Network station.
Scott Primer here from Locust Grove Church near Assumption. We're spreading the good news of Christ in person and online. Come join our family or watch our video sermon podcast by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Mike Asali here, owner of Schaefer, Perfetti, and Asali Funeral Home, Taylorville's only locally owned and operated funeral home. We honor lives and celebrate memories. Find out all about the services we provide by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM information station. My name is Tim Zalabak. Time now to continue the WTIM morning show. Thank you so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust and Landmark at Taylorville. I have Sasha Young on the line right now, superintendent of Central A&M School District. Been a great conversation so far. She's had a great couple of weeks to get started here, keeping things kind of the same because everything is running smooth over there right now. Maybe a few tweaks here and there, but really sticking to the school's mission. So, Miss Young, really, again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy week for being here with me.
Absolutely. Thanks again for having me.
Oh, of course. Any chance we can get. You guys got some upcoming professional development program, seminar events coming up. Can you talk to me a little bit about this?
Sure. So, with sticking to our mission of empowering and celebrating excellence in our students every day, we have also kind of seen a need to help support some of that social, emotional, and just mental health well-being of our students. It's not just specific, here to Central A&M, but kind of all over. A few years ago when the world shut down, we all kind of, our aspects on life kind of changed, and we didn't get out and we didn't do things as much as we used to. So our goal is kind of helping support those kiddos because we still see some of those, after effects of that. So we have a couple of upcoming professional developments planned in regards to social emotional learning and mental health first aid, helping students recognize signs that they might need some help with the way they're feeling and talking, and bringing out some of that social emotional, let's talk about it, let's feel better, let's move on. We can't learn until we're in a good place, all of that kind of thinking. Kimmer Village also has a presentation on October 6th from Josh Shipp. He's kind of well known. He's a top youth speaker. His presentation is entitled "Every Kid is One Caring Adult Away from Being a Success." And so they have invited all of the Central A&M staff to Kimmer Village to enjoy this presentation with them, and we're super excited about that. He speaks about, every kid can be a success, and all it takes is just that one adult that makes that connection. So as I've talked before, and I will continue to talk, relationships matter, and kids being connected to adults makes all the difference. So I'm really excited about all of the professional development that's coming our way to help us connect better to our students.
Yeah, this is hugely important, and we're beginning to see schools become proactive about mental health in students. After COVID, it was exacerbated for sure, and it's really great to hear you, Miss Young, superintendent. We've talked to previous superintendents who also are getting up to date with mental health crises, coming from COVID. Can you talk to me a little bit about the after effects that students were facing, getting back into the school classroom?
So I think there were a lot of things. I was a building principal at the time that this was all going down, and some things that I would notice was just the anxiety of being around other people in close proximity, or because we were all so concerned and so worried, and we were sheltering in place like we were asked to do. Just the social anxiety of not being at home. Right. So that was a thing for some younger kids. Yeah. I think some older kids kind of turned to social media and devices a little bit more than they had been previously to that time. And so that itself had some concerns. Sure. Connecting with people digitally is different than connecting with people in person.
Yeah, 100%.
So, just relearning some boundaries and relearning some expectations when using devices was important. Talking to people face to face, talking to people in small group looks a lot different than when you're connecting with someone on a device. And so, just kind of rewiring some of that in students. Yeah. It's just important. Yeah. And not that it changed us all for the negative. It just was a shift, right? And so how do we come out of that and kind of shift some of that back? Now, not everything that came out of that was was terrible, right? I was talking this morning about how some procedures changed during that time frame because it made sense, and some of that stuff has stayed the same. Because
Miss Young,
I go
we
back
are out of town. We are out of time. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
But this partnership with Kemmerer Village is amazing. Really powerful stuff right there. With the child is one good caring parent away from the success. So I really love that. And Miss Young, thank you so much for taking the time being here with us today.
You're so welcome. Have a good day.
You as well. This has been Tim Zalabak here on the WTIM Morning Show.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne and Nokomis.
Thomason. Former President Trump unloading on the special counsel prosecuting him for allegedly trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election.
They created all this fake stuff. They put this prosecutor